Hello guys, and welcome to Fundamentals with Market Junkies. This is a first episode with us, so please do bear with us. No doubt be some teething issues, but please stay tuned for the information that we have in here on what is just a completely undiscovered gem on the Nasdaq exchange in Vicinity Motor Corporation. So structure of the video, really simply, industry overview, positioning of the business today, the management team within the organization, the USPs of both the product, the unique selling points, I should say, of both the products and the partnerships in play, the financials real quick, and then an outlook over the next sort of 6 to 12 months. So who are VMC? They are a leading supplier of EV, CNG, gas, and clean diesel buses for both public and commercial enterprise use in Canada and very recently the United States of America. It's worth noting that the company's flagship line has a dominating position of market share in Canada with 90% penetration, which is just craziness for any product. So we know the products are good out the bat. Now, newly listed on Nasdaq, which kind of coincided with the move into the United States market, and they focus on both buses and now also trucks as well, which you can see there, which we'll cover off in a little bit more detail. So we're all in this industry for one thing and one thing only: the exponential growth potential on offer. Top left there, we have a graph in which it details the exponential growth that you're going to see in EV units sold over the next sort of 20, 30 years. In 2000 EV vehicles were sold in the States. By 2030, they expect 25,000 per year. And by 2040, they expect 75,000 EV units per annum. Sorry, these are sort of transit units, by the way, not inclusive of cars. And now let's look at the stupid opportunity in which the government are delivering us, right? So there is, of course, this green recovery desire, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. The funding is moving into the billions across both nations. So Canada, we have 14.9 billion in transit funding program, 2.8 specifically for zero emission transit. That's where we come in. 1.5 for the infrastructure support around the charging. Not massively key for us because a lot of our units can run off existing infrastructure, which is actually a bit of a USP for us as well, which is cool. And then, of course, we have the 17.6, which is new spend for the green recovery. And then you look at the United States, which is just Canada on steroids, and a whole fucking shed load of them too. So we've got 2.3 trillion over an 8-year investment period, 85 billion to modernize existing transit, and 174 billion to win the EV market. And I guess that's in subsidies. And also, I guess it's a grant option in which they want major players, big organizations that have great EV products to operate within the United States. And you can see that below, which is where they have the Invest in America Act, right? There's a real geopolitical play here in which China and the States are kind of going head to head on who's going to dominate this marketplace. And in my opinion, right now, China is winning this. Particularly on the rare minerals front, but I think the US are elite when it comes to business. So I'm sure they are that they'll fight back well. Okay, so the management within this organization, let me just say, are just so elite. So they're very competent, very industry specific. So Will Trainer is the founder and leader, has passion. This is his baby, has plenty of skin in the game. I love founder run, especially when it's entering an explosive growth period, is the passion, right, is going to transfer onto their partner and customer interactions, which is just so important. Couple others worth discussing. Andrew Mance grew El Dorado to 500 million per year. This is the same El Dorado that was bought up by Berkshire Hathaway back to Forest River last year. And this man took them to the next level. It's a true impact signing for VMC. Will's aim is to take us to $1 billion per year, right? And this guy's already done half of that. And he's moved from what was a much larger organization into VMC. So he sees that potential. And then finally is Manuel. I'm really sorry if I've not pronounced that right. But he's ex-BC Transit, okay? So BC Transit, he essentially oversee 58 million passenger journeys across 88 systems in British Columbia. So his knowledge, and the reason I want to bring him up, his knowledge on the industry is going to be unrivaled. And also, more importantly, the way that public sector and private sector operate, especially when it comes to procurement, okay? It's going to be invaluable. He's going to know all the loopholes, how to take advantage of grants, how to get government engagement. And it's so key when there's a lot of gov grants and everything else, which we're already taking advantage of, guys. There's like been 3 PR releases in which we've taken advantage of such offers, which is fantastic. And then it's also worth noting that James White bought a shit ton at 8.5, so 20k more of that on the 18th of the 8th. And it's actually worth probably checking off onto the next slide here, where you have a number of insiders buying. It's just such a bullish flag, right? It is when these guys are all picking up on the open market. We all know good things are coming. Interestingly, Will in his Q2 call, at the end, there was a question asked. He did state that new orders or orders would be delivered to the market very soon. Now, look, when is that? Nobody knows. Could be a month, could be 3. But the fact is they've got pipeline. And with the way these guys close, I'm not even remotely worried. And this is the beauty, right? This is why they're doing so well. It's the product line, okay? So we have the medium duty unit, which is developed alongside Calgary Transport. It's purpose built. It was purpose built alongside these guys, so that there's a no cutover message. So method, sorry, not message. A lot of these organizations, they cut the buses in half, glue them back together. I say glue, weld them back together. Funny if they did glue them. Weld them back together and say, hey, look, there you go. They might be a little bit too wide. They don't quite fit the roads. They're not purpose built. This is. And this is why it's dominated the Canadian market with 90% penetration, right? Because we purpose build our offerings. It's that simple. And then secondly, I want to discuss the heavy duty, which is not yet on the market. That's just under the USP's banner there. This is registered best in class Altoona test scores, okay? The Altoona test is an intensive industry testing program, and it assures us that the products are really high quality. Have a little Google, familiarize yourself. You'll see straight away, okay, shit, these products are they're top tier, and that's what you want to hear. And they're cheaper than everybody else as well. I'm really sorry, you'll have to check the prices yourself. I don't have that information to hand, but please do take a little look, because I know that we are we have a superior product. We're also costing less, which is, I mean, you can't go wrong. It's music to any public sector's ears, entity's ears. Okay, and this is really interesting. So we're building our Washington factory at present, 1,000 bus capacity per annum, and we have a grant in which to support the build of the Washington factory. I don't really care about that. It's cool. No, it means that, they're really keen to have us there. The mayor was in attendance at the start of the ceremony. That's what's really important to me, because it shows how well connected we are already. And it's simply how this world works, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know. And if we're already in bed with these types of entities, I'm very confident that orders are going to come our way. And this leads me on, I think, to, I guess, the tenders that we've already won, or the right to buy that we've already won, which is New Mexico, Cali, which is huge, and Washington, which will be big as well. But I want to cover off ABC partnerships and their importance in our growth, right? So they were established in 1987. They've already sold over 11,000 buses in the States. 400 people in the business and 8 strategic locations. Here's the important thing to know. 3 of those locations are located in California, where VMC got approved for the bid just a few weeks back, which is up to 8,000 buses across 5 years. ABC are integral to this deal. And I think, as I say, because they've been located there for so long, it's a similar notion as the chap I mentioned previously, that they will be going to play golf with the buyers of this product already. They will know them. They will know the public services. And so it's just the positioning is just fantastic, in my opinion. Okay. Now let's have a little look at the financials. Really, really straightforward this is. So market cap currently at 153 million. First half of this year, we did 46 million in revs. We're just shy of being valued at 3x, which is just nonsense in my opinion in this industry. I know SPACs that have registered at billions that don't even have a sell on their books. And yeah, they've got some partnerships, but they're dodgy looking partnerships. They're not, it's crazy. It's a crazy market, right? And this is why I say this is such an undiscovered gem, because the volumes that are getting done on this daily are nowhere near where it should be. Nowhere near. So adding to the mix, right, we've got guidance of a minimum of 55 revs this year. Sorry if that's incorrect. I believe it's 55. Again, it's madness in my opinion. They wiped out their debt from the period last year, from the 3 months from Q2 of 2020 to Q2 of 2021, wiped out our debt and increased the working capital by 4 million and wiped out the 5.5 million debt. Like, this is why they actually, I saw a shelf confirmation of 150 million on the 17th. Some guys were stating that it's been around a little while longer. I hadn't seen it, but I'm not worried about this at all because these guys spend correctly. I'm not even remotely concerned. With the truck, they forward sold £1 million worth. Sorry, I'm English. $1 million worth of product as it was launched. There aren't many businesses that do business that way, but the ones that do really, really well, and they tend to be very good with money. So I'm not bothered by the shelf. And we're in profit, right? I mean, come on, point me to the EVs that are. There's only a handful. And to boot, it's a really small float here. So you know what will happen? Eventually a Twitter pumper will get hold of it, one of the big guys, and this 4, 5, 6x's. That's what's going to happen. Maybe we need a few more deals first, but hey, look, it is what it is. And finally, I want to have a little look at the outlook and the catalysts that are coming up. So Washington State factory coming online, that'll be Q1 or Q2 of 2022. Okay, we've got 3,000 in total capacity, 1,000 of our own. There's a little bit more, and then I think it's 2,000 via partners, so it's probably a little bit over 3,000. So that's great. We're nowhere near capacity at this point in time, but we're going to get there. And this is the killer, right? We've got the concrete orders to follow, the selection to buy in Cali, New Mexico, and Washington. I'm telling you now, Cali and Washington will buy us in I think, quite heavy volumes. New Mexico, I'm not sure. I couldn't actually find like a strategic leverage there, as in, I thought maybe the chap who we had down at El Dorado was a link, but El Dorado isn't headquartered in New Mexico, so it's one of those things. I couldn't find a link, but maybe somebody else can. We've got further Canadian government contracts. You saw the that first slide on the funds that are coming in, that are going to be released into the market by the government. We already engage in that market and have really good penetration. Well, why aren't you? You're just going to buy what you already know and like. So as long as we've impressed them, I haven't seen any poor reviews. Fantastic. We're going to do well. We're going to get repeat orders there. Brilliant. That's going to happen in the next 3 to 6 months without a shadow of a doubt. Then we've got a continuation of orders from existing clients that were a little bit smaller. So for the first time, I've noticed that we've had 5 orders that have been less than 10 mil. Well, most have been less than 5 mil. There was one that I think was 5 or 6. But these are, I believe, organizations dipping the toe in the water, right? Getting a feel for the product set and building out that small fleet. So we impress the customer base, the account builds up, we grow. Fantastic. And then finally, we have the heavy duty bus launch. I believe that's coming out in the next 6 months. But again, it's been a bit hazy on the information on that one, and that could just be my my sort of discovery approach there. I may not have unearthed that. It might be a lot sooner. And I guess that brings us to a close. I think in terms of insight, I hope you guys have got a lot from that, and I would encourage you guys to subscribe, reach out to me, ask me some questions, please, as well. If you've got better information than I do, send it to me, because this is how we this is how we beat the fucking markets, right? We work together, and I think that's what you got to do in this life. So yeah, we've been Market Junkies, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.